Alright, so here we are back for our second match with Mono Black Control. I'm going to choose to play first. I'm going to keep. This hand's pretty much everything that we want, in the early game anyway. It's got a kill spell. It's got a Sign in Blood. Albeit that dead weight, not the greatest right now, because it's not an instant, but still. So I'll take this opportunity to go Sign in Blood. Here's a pretty good card. So blue-black could mean blue-black Flicker, could mean blue-black Teachings Control. Blue-black Teachings Control, probably the most annoying of the two. And I think here we'll just resolve Combage Witches so I can cycle the Baron more. I think 4 mana should be enough. And we'll just pass the turn. I'm hoping that it's blue-black Flicker because blue-black Flicker is the easier of the two. Less things to worry about, at least. It is, well, that doesn't really tell me much. That really doesn't tell me a whole lot. But I am going to get to deadweight this. And I'm going to kill it because if they have Ghostly Flicker, I don't want them having that option. Land and Tendrils, okay. So for now we'll deadweight. And then I think I'd rather play Chittering Rats. I think I would prefer to play Chittering Rats. So we're going to go to 17, but with the Tendrils it's not really going to make that much of a difference. I think just for now we'll go Chittering Rats just to try and get a tiny bit more card advantage. See how that goes. Okay, so an Echoing Decay took care of my guy. Ooh, another Sign in Blood. So we're going to attack from one, whether it's blue-black Flicker or blue-black Teachings, it's still better to attack with this. So what we'll do is we'll go Phyrexian Ranger and pretend we drew a land off of it. In fact, we did. And in fact, we drew 2 more lands. That's wonderful. It almost makes me want to go back to the old school blue-black splash blue style of mono black control, where you splash for Mole Drifter. That's really what it makes me want to go back to. Changer's Edict. Okay, well, we'll attack for 3. My opponent didn't have an untapped land, I assume, so they weren't able to go Mole Drifter, which is pretty good for me. I'm assuming this Phyrexian Ranger is going to die now. My opponent's just taking their sweet time to do it. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, well, we'll say go. If I could resolve a Thorn of the Black Rose, that'd be really awesome, but I haven't drawn one. I definitely think there should be a third one in this deck. I definitely think if you're going to play it, you should have a third one. Okay, well, there's a Disfigure, which I assume my opponent had the whole time. I'm just going to assume my opponent did not just draw that. And I'm going to cycle now. Well, there's a Thorn, but I'm not going to play it into open counterspell mana. So what I'm hoping is that my opponent taps out for something, or unfortunately plays like a Mole Drifter, and then I get to get them to counter something. And just pass the turn, I suppose. This is fun. Are we having fun? This is fun. It's funny because I ran into 2 blue decks, which is unfortunate in a format where aggro is most prevalent nowadays. But I suppose that Snow Delver is more of an aggro deck than it is a control deck or a tempo deck or anything like that of the sort, so I suppose that does make a difference. But we're going to probably be here for a little while. Oh, we're going to be here for a while, alright. Attack for 1. Besides having 2 removal spells, I don't know what my opponent could do to kill this other than a Chainer's Edict, which, if they have one in their hand, they're refusing quite heavily to use. No, okay, it's blue-black flicker. It is blue-black flicker. I'm gonna put the Thorn of the Black Rose back on top just in case, for some reason, they have something. And I'm gonna go to use Tendrils, just because it's the most expensive instant spell in my hand. Is blue-black flicker. So blue-black flicker is also more of an aggro-y tempo type of deck, but you play blue with counter spells and stuff. I'm hoping that they flicker it. Well, I guess not flicker, because then they could still have 2 blue up. Yeah, that sucks. Alright. Well, I guess I'll disfigure it in response. If they have a Dispel? No. See, this sucks because I'm not drawing anything that would get a counter spell out of their hand. But I really need to resolve this Thorn of the Black Rose. Oh, there's an Archaeomancer. Okay, well, I'm gonna Victim Knight the crap out of it, so. See what my opponent does. And they just let it go. That's annoying. I'm really hoping that they counterspell, but they're not doing that. Yeah, I'm just not drawing anything that they would want to counterspell, which is making this really, really difficult on me. Alright, well here comes Mole Drifter, which is a pain in the tuchus. Alright. Another swamp. Man. I think I'd rather use Chainer's Edict here than anything else. I think Oubliette's probably more useful. Yeah, see, this is the problem, is they don't actually have to counterspell anything, because they can just keep replaying threats over and over and over again. And this is kind of another point to why play a deck like Mono Black Control, where you could play a deck like Blue-Black Flicker, or even a deck like Blue-Black Teachings, where you get the same good kill spells, but now you're also adding blue, so not only can you have a few counter spells, but you can also just draw more cards. And that's kind of the point of why I think Mono Black Control just isn't as good as it used to be. You could still play it, but I don't really think that you should expect to do too well with it. And I'm pretty dead now, because I can try to Oubliette it, but it's not going to do anything. But I guess I can Chainer's Edict for what it's worth, which they'll probably counterspell this. Maybe after board we'll have a better time. Oh wow, they didn't counterspell that. I'm actually quite surprised. That's 2 Chittering Rats down. Oh, they probably have Oh, well, if they had Reap the Bones. If they had whatever that 3-mana Storm card is that's escaping my mind right now. If they had that, I think I would have just scooped, because I'm way too far behind at that point. And there's Archaeomancer again. Getting back Preordain? Yeah, I got back Preordain. Couldn't have a second Thorn of the Black Rose. It's a Christmas miracle. Yay, I get to draw cards. Woo. Alright. Well, I don't know how far ahead I'll be in this game, but we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. We're not getting very far, but we're getting somewhere. Seeking Oracle. I know that they still have a Ghostly Flicker in their hands, so that is something to keep in mind. There's a Chainer's Edict. Okay. not going to be playing the second Thorn of the Black Rose for a little while because it allows me to become the Monarch again. So that is something to keep in mind. Wow, another land. Jeez. Alright, well. Go ahead and Chainer's Edict. Can't Ghostly Flicker that. Why does this look different? Because I guess because it's foil. It looks like such a different picture when it's foil. It's kind of weird. Alright. So we'll play this Swamp and we'll say go. Shooting Rats doesn't hurt me tremendously. It still hurts, but not tremendously. Oh, Bajuka Bog's good though. I wish I drew that this turn. That would have been great. Oh wow, the same go. Alright, cool. I'm okay with playing this game for right now. Alright, let's go ahead and cycle this Barrenmore, just because. And a Grey Merchant. Alright, well first of all, we'll Bajuka Bog. See what my opponent wants to say about it. The reason you Bajuka Bog before playing the Grey Merchant is because of the Storm card, so that they have less targets to return. Because I'm pretty sure they probably have it in their hand by now. My opponent is Ghostly Flickering to gain 2 life. Okay, so they probably have another Ghostly Flicker in hand. Oh no, they're going to... I see what they're doing. Yeah, Reaping the Graves, there you go. Okay, so, I can tell you now that we're probably dead, because they're gonna play a Mole Drifter, and there's no way that I have enough to come back. But, I guess I'll humor everybody. I'll humor everybody that's watching. Go ahead and play, Grey Merchant of Asphodel. Go ahead and do a quick drain for 4. Ooh, Pestilence. Sweet. Pestilence is good. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, yes. So you have to either play more Thorn of the Black Roses, or you have to deal combat damage. With this Monarch card. That's what you have to do. Okay, well I know that now. They're gonna tap out from Mole Drifter. I think they evoked it. No, they didn't evoke it. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, and I get to resolve Pestilence? Maybe I don't lose? Could this be? Maybe I don't lose? Oh my god, I don't think I lose! I have 11 mana, so I can do this for 2. Okay, let's play Pestilence first. And then, so I can resolve this Grey Merchant, do it for 2. Let's go ahead and play this Grey Merchant. And then do this for 2. Since my opponent is going to, since now they can't kill my Grey Merchant with the Seagate Oracle. And now they have to remove both of my creatures while they're at 1 or something. And I drew another Phyrexian Rager, which is pretty good. Pestilence, here it comes to save the day. Alright, another Mole Drifter, that's cool. Whatever keeps the Pestilence in play. That's pretty much all that matters right now. Pestilence has actually become quite of an expensive card. I think it's almost like 3 tickets now, which is pretty insane when you think about it. But I still think that it's a great card to have. I probably want more than 1 in this deck, to be honest, at this point. I figure that, like, Pestilence is good, but it's not as good in this deck as it would be in, like, other decks. But it's really just as good as I thought it would be. Alright, there's Shooting Rats. I guess we'll just Pestilence now. Just see if I win. I know that my opponent can probably Ghostly Flicker in response, but I'll just win anyway. So, opponent's kind of just delaying the inevitable. I can't believe I won this game. I think my opponent just drew a bunch of cards all in the wrong order. But I'll take it. I will take it. I feel like I had to get extra lucky to win that match as well, but I'll take it. Okay, so cards that are good in this match are Oubliette, I think, because they don't really have a way to do anything about it. Duress is really good. Disfigure is better than Deadweight because it's an instant. Deadweight's not so good. Deadweight's not as good as you think. Chainer's Edict there was pretty good. But I don't know if that's kind of just like first time luck. I don't think we need Tendrils as much. I think Oubliette's better because it makes the creature not go to the graveyard. Victim of Night's still good. The creatures are still good. It's possible that Kumbaj Witches aren't very good. The question is, do I want to bring in Okiba Gang Shinobi? I don't think I do. The other question is, do I want to bring in Relic of Progenitus? I think I kind of do, actually. Believe it or not, I think I do. So, let's go ahead and take out Unearths. I think Unearths are probably going to be less good. We'll bring in 2 Relics. And I think I'll take out 2 Kumbaj Witches. The reason to take out 2 Kumbaj Witches is because Kumbaj Witches plus Disfigure still kills the Seagate Oracle and stuff. I don't know, like, I think Okiba Gang Shinobi's not as good on the draw. Maybe Grim Harvest or Font of Return is better than Kumbaj Witches. I think I just become a straight up, like, aggro control deck, so let's bring in these. I think Grim Harvest and Font are going to be better than Unearths. I know that these don't really combo with Relics, but I think they're still better to have than Kumbaj Witches. So we'll go ahead and submit and see how that goes for me. Alright, so we have a pretty good hand, pump all to 6. Gonna go turn 1 Relic, because once we go turn 1 Relic, they can't do anything about it. Except just stare at it. Unless they have, like, Capsize in it or something, I guess, but here's what it is. Don't have Spell Pierce? Okay. I'm just like, oh yeah, Spell Pierce is still in this format. Please don't have Spell Pierce for days. Okay, so they're just leaving up Counterspell. Fair enough. Chainer's Edict. Cool. Yeah, this is actually one of the decks where Chainer's Edict is surprisingly pretty good against. So I think I'm going to go Chittering Rats here. I think Chittering Rats is worse than me being able to draw 2 cards, although they just have 6. So I guess they don't have a Counterspell, which is now makes the Chittering Rats play even better, because now not only do I set them behind, I know they have no Counterspell, and I get to resolve Friction Rager next turn most likely. And they don't have a 4th land. So that's pretty good. Ooh. Alright, let's go ahead and attack for 2. The reason I'm playing this Phyrexian Rager, playing the land before the Rager is just in case of days. Okay, just in case of, I'm not playing the Duress now. Just in case of, Logic Knot or anything like that. I don't want to get caught off guard, so that's really the only reason I did that. It's not a totally required play, but it's just, you know, it's something to keep in mind. Well, it looks like they're getting ready to do something, but I don't know what they're doing. Okay, they're going preordained. Cool. So let's see what they are preordaining. Bottom would be very helpful. No, they topping because they thought for a little bit. Oh, top bottom, okay. Okay, so they topped a land, I'm pretty sure, and they played Stormbound Geist. Okay, well that makes Chainer's Edict a teensy bit worse, but what I can do now, if I so want to, is I can go Victim of Night. I think Chainer's Edict is still better, so I can go Victim of Night, and then use the Relic, which I think is probably the better decision. But we're going to see what's in their hand first, just to see if I want to do that. Okay, Grey Merchant's pretty good. So let's go ahead and Duress. Chainer's Edict, Mole Drifter. Jeez. Alright, well, we're going to get a Chainer's Edict out of the way. And kind of want to resolve the second Rager. But I think at the same time, I also just want to get rid of this stupid Stormbound Geist. So I'm going to go ahead and Victim of Night it now. And then respond by doing this. I drew a 5th land, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to play this Gurmagangler for a teensy bit while, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a big deal. Okay, they're just going to Chainer's Edict. Fair enough. They drew an Aqueduct. Alright, well, we know that anything I play is going to resolve now, so that's pretty good. Another Duress. Well, there's no reason to use that because we know that their hand is land and Mole Drifter. So I think here I'm just going to resolve the big man. Just use all my mana while I can in a safe spot. I know that it sucks that I'm not using Grey Merchant to drain a lot, but I still think it's better to do that here. Oh, my opponent returned the Dismal Backwater. Fair enough. Okay, so I don't know any of the cards in their hand now. I am, however, going to Duress them now. Ooh, another Grey Merchant. That's good. Go ahead and Duress, Counterspell, Island, and Seagate Oracle. Man, every card that they play just draws a card. That's such bullcrap. Let's go ahead and attack for 2. I wish I knew that I was drawing another land, because then I could, yeah, I think I'd rather Chainer's Edict. I could, alright, another 2 cards in my hand. Could play Phyrexian Rager, so that I could also play Chainer's Edict in the same turn, but I can't do that, unfortunately. Okay, so they have 2 unknown cards, a Baronmore. Yeah, well, that's funny. Can't really attack. I could, however, if I wanted to, play the second Grey Merchant, which I think I want to. And then I can also play out this Baronmore to have a 6th land, although I don't think I need to. I think I want to play Phyrexian Rager since it's kind of the same thing. And I'd rather have that countered, I think, than a Grey Merchant at this point. Sucks that this isn't untapped land, so if they okay, yeah, they drew a counterspell. So that when they counter that, you know. So let's go ahead and cycle this. Ooh, that's a good card. The reason I cycled that there is because if I had drawn a Duress or another land, I didn't want to miss my land drop. So that's the reason I did that. Seagate Oracle. Okay. And an Archaeomancer probably on a counterspell. This game's starting to fall apart a tiny bit, if only because I'm not really drawing my cards in the right order. Chittering Rats. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unfortunately. So I could play a Thorn of the Black Rose right now, but I can't play... I'm 1 mana off of playing the Gurmagangler. And unfortunately, they can just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They can flashback the Thorn, and I wouldn't really get anywhere. However, I can play Chittering Rats and Gurmagangler in the same turn, but I would lose my Chainer's Edict, but I don't really think that matters right now. So I think that's what I want to do. So they have Counterspell and Blank in their hand. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. And pass the turn. Since they can just block. There's nothing... There's like no double blocking or anything. Man, another Seagate Oracle. Stop drawing cards! Damn you, opponent, can you please brick? Oh, boy. Man! They won't brick! Alright, well, none of their creatures fly and they have a counterspell, so I'm going to go ahead and play this. And pass the turn. Ooh, Grim Harvest is pretty good. Because if they want to deal combat damage to me right now, they'd have to attack with, like, everybody, and they would have to lose some creatures. They could Chainer's Edict now, and I could lose my Chittering Rats, and they could attack with everything, but they would lose their Archaeomancer, their Chittering Rats, and a Seagate Oracle. I suppose if they have Reaping the Graves, it would suck, but what are you going to do? They're not flashbacking Chainer's Edict. Fair enough. A Pestilence. Well, that's not resolving anytime soon. So let's go ahead and get the counterspell out of their hand. Because we have to have that happen. There is nothing that I can do about that. Oh my god, that's so bad. That is so bad for me, dude. Jeez. That's actually, like, the literal worst case scenario, because now they still have counterspell in their hand. Oh, that is so bad for me. Oh, that couldn't have been worse. That couldn't have been worse. I still need... Duress is still the best draw, but I only have one left in the deck. A land doesn't really do anything. Let's go ahead and cycle. I let you cycle? Come on. Opponent? You gonna respond to the cycle? Alright, well, just pass the turn now. Oh my god. 3 lands in a row does not win a game of Magic. It has been proven for years. Actually, I suppose that's not true. If you're playing lands.deck, 3 lands in a row is probably a pretty good thing. Depending on what the lands are. Like if you draw like Mad Lands or something, or like Tabernacle. Excuse me. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and Grim Harvest and see what my opponent wants to do about it. They'll probably let it resolve, because they're just going to counter the Grey Merchant, but might as well try to feed it. Because I really want to get this Pestilence to resolve. Yeah, they let it go. Okay. I have, what, 6 lands in play right now? If they kill something, I can return the Grim Harvest. I have 3 mana up. Or recover, I guess, is the correct term. I don't know if my opponent's double queuing or something, but... Oh, another land. So my last 4 draw phases have been lands. So that means that I'm going to start drawing spells after this turn. Sweet. So I guess I could run the Grey Merchant out there, but then I lose the Grim Harvest, so I think my best chance is actually just to say go. And just keep letting the Monarch feed me. Feed me. There is no Monarch, only Zul. I'm sorry for what I just said. Not really. I'm an Oubliette. That's pretty good, because that removes the Archaeomancer or the Chittering Rats. Yeah. A top deck deep analysis. That's disgusting. That is most certainly disgusting. Yes, okay. Duress off the top would be the best draw. I'm just pointing it out. Oh boy. Alright, well, let's go for Oubliette. And see what my opponent does about it. Pestilence is and always will be the best card in the world. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Alright, we're going to resolve Pestilence. We're going to go to my second main phase so that my opponent loses the floating mana. I'm not attacking with anything, but let God. And let's resolve Pestilence. I assume. I'm just going to assume it resolves. Don't have a negate. There's no way you run a negate against me. No. Stop. Stop it. Stop it. Let it resolve. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Oh, a disfigure too. Trying to think if I want to disfigure this Archaeomancer right now. I probably do. Yeah. I probably want to take the chance to do that. If they have a Ghostly Flicker combo, I'm screwed. Okay, they don't. Sweet. And now we have 6. Because I literally can't do anything but just click these guys forward. This is such a broken Magic card. Whose idea was this? Alright. Mole Drifter, that doesn't matter to me. All that matters to me is that this stays in play, or this stays in play, and this wins the game. That's really all that matters to me right now. Preordain, bottom top. Alrighty. Dismal Backwater. Cool. Cool. Ooh, and a font of return? Jeez. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what it's like to have it all. Why am I not being allowed to play a land? Why am I not being allowed to play a land? I'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and, my heart just skipped a beat because I was having a problem with Windows 10 earlier last week, where, if after I updated to the creators update, it was doing some kind of freezing thing, and the only way that I was able to do it was use a bit of computer skills and nuke my hard drives and all that jazz. I'm not going to get into the rest. So, yeah, I gotta calm down a few seconds. But what happened was apparently Magic Online decided to crap out my connection. I don't know what happened, but apparently my connection's fine. It's just Magic Online being pissy. So anyway, so we're gonna use Pestilence. We're just gonna do that real quick. So apparently my opponent was not taking long. Probably just they were being affected as well. Understandably so, because Magic Online is the best program in the world. There's nothing wrong with Magic Online. It is and will always be the best program that is and always will. So we're going to go ahead and Pestilence away. We're going to nuke the whole board except for the Gurmag Angler and the Gray Merchant. We're going to go ahead and return this to my hand. And we're going to lose the Thorn, which sucks, but it must happen. And we're going to attack now for 7. Bring my opponent to 10. Hopefully they don't have 2 kill spells in their hand, like a Disfigure and Echoing Decay. Because then this does not work. I mean, then this goes away, which sucks. But whatever. Looks like they don't. And I drew Gurmag Angler number 2, so that's good. So, basically, okay, they're using Deep Analysis. What's going on here is that I got really lucky with the order in which I drew my cards. And I also got lucky that this is a deck that does not play very many counterspells. Alright, so I guess I'll sack the Gray Merchant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I guess they're gonna... If they tap out for the Chainer's Edict, I think I win the game. Yes, they are. So let's see. So I can poke for 1, put them to 6. Or I can poke them to 3, put them to 4. But I don't think I win right away. I'll have 10 mana to work with. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm trying to think of how much I want to poke for. Or if I want to return with a Grim Harvest. And I think I do want to return with Grim Harvest, so I think I'm going to poke for 1. And put my opponent to 6. And then lose my dude. And I'm going to lose the Pestilence, unfortunately. Okay, they're going to gain some life as well. Probably going to return the Radiant Fountain. That is very true. So I'll go ahead and return... What do I want to return? I think I want to return the Chittering Reds. Oh, no, I win. I can return the Gray Merchant. Right, I can cast both of them. That's right. No, I did this correct. Okay, I just want to make sure. Lose the Pestilence. Play a land. Play this and resolve it. Put you to 4. I don't think they knew about the second Gray Merchant, that's why. I was, because if they know about both Gray Merchants, they probably just scoop. Oh, but they also don't know I have a 10th land, so I guess there's also something. Always yield, and then we win the match. Alright, I'll be right back. Okay, so I don't really feel like I played too well in both of those matchups. I feel like I made a few of the correct plays, but I don't really feel like I outplayed my opponents. I really feel like I just took advantage of my opponents being in a few bad spots. Now, yes, that's a part of Magic, but I feel like I had to work harder and, again, get a bit luckier to win those 2 matchups. And I also feel like I'm doing that off camera against decks like Holdotha Boros, Stompy, Affinity, things like that. Because I feel like your deck is just too slow. You're a 1-for-1 deck where every other deck in the format is going wide and doing multiple things. Even the black-blue control decks, I mean, they're doing the same thing you are, but they're also splashing blue for counterspells and drawing cards. So, what's my verdict on this deck? Well, I'm a bit conflicted. I still like mono black control. It's still always going to be one of my favorite archetypes. It's still always going to be, you know, just right in the thick of things. It's never going to be a bad deck, but it's never going to be as well positioned as it once was. Could you play this deck for the Pauper challenges coming up? I think you could, but I think that you're putting yourself at a bit of a disadvantage. I think that Steve Jeltz's black-red deck is probably better, or even if you were to build like a black-blue control deck, like if you put like this guy in black-blue flicker, I think that'd be better as well. If you were to take this into the leagues, do I think you'd do well? I think you might spike a 5-0, depending on if you got the good matchups or not, but I think you're more likely going to 3-2 a bunch than you are 4-1ing or especially 5-0ing. I think if you want to play this deck, I think there are better options out there. I think that Blue-Black Teachings is better. I think that Black-Red Rakdos Control is better for right now. And notice I say for right now, meaning I don't think MBC is dead. I don't think it's a bad deck, and I would never say that because I don't even claim to be an expert. I am no expert. I am no Pauper King here. I just am telling you how I see it, which is probably wrong because I'm usually wrong on everything, but that's not really the point here. The point is that if you want, you can still play this deck, but I think there are better options out there for the way the metagame is right now. But either way, let me know in the comments how you feel. You still like this deck? If any of you are mono black control experts, let me know how you feel. I can tell you that some changes I'm going to make. I'm going to add a third Thorn of the Black Rose and definitely a second Pestilence. I think that those cards are quite important. I'm definitely going to put a fourth Duress back in the sideboard, and the more I look at it, the more I just don't like this card. I think if you're going to play a card like this, Wrenchmind is probably just better, but the problem with Wrenchmind is that more and more people are playing artifacts these days. Or more and more decks just don't care about discarding 2 cards. So, there's that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to make it a 4th Duress and probably a Distress, just as a 5th copy of Duress. I think Duress is actually really important in the metagame right now, because of how good the spells are and how many decks are playing counterspells and whatnot. I still don't mind the Deadweight, but I can definitely see if you want to go with 3 Disfigures. As far as the rest of the deck goes, the rest of the deck I think is fine. I think the rest of the deck works pretty well. I think the sideboard works pretty well. I don't know if you really need Relic of Progenitus. And if you don't have them, if you don't want to buy them, because I know sometimes buying cards can be annoying, you can just replace them with the Nihil Spellbomb if you want. And there's that. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, my final verdict on this deck is it's not a bad deck, but I don't think it's a tier 1 deck. If you want to play it, I'm not stopping you. I don't know if you'll do very well. I'm not guaranteeing that you will. I would never guarantee that, but I think if you play well and you construct your deck in the right way, you get paired up to a few lucky matches, I think you'll do fine. Either way, though, thank you very much for watching. It has been quite fun. The second season of the CPC is going to be coming up soon, so do look out for that. I'm going to be making some Reddit posts here in the very, very near future, so do look for that. I also want to thank you guys, of course, for watching my stuff and for reading PureMTGO.com. Please go visit it. They have tons of articles from tons of great writers that are all much better than me. Even Steve Jeltz himself is starting to write articles now, so that's awesome. Go check him out. He's pretty awesome. You should check out all the other Pauper people. You should check out Luxikoff's Pauperganda stuff on YouTube and on Twitch. You should check out Kung Fu Trees and Pauper MTG and all those great people. Also check out Mikey Ruru on YouTube and all that stuff. I'll definitely have all that stuff advertised in the CPC as well. So, the other thing is, I don't plan on making this a career, but I know that sometimes people just get lucky. So, if you want to subscribe to me on YouTube and try to help me become a somewhat bigger YouTuber, I suppose, you can do that. You don't have to subscribe, though. It's not a big deal. If you don't want to, that's cool. All I ask is that you read my articles and you have fun reading them. And that you watch my videos and have fun watching them. So either way, I am Arctic Ghost. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Have a good one.